I was so inspired to recreate this apple seasonal decor piece I found on Pinterest. So I popped on in a Dollar Tree and over to their little faux food section to grab some apples. I feel like you could recreate this so many different ways. I personally had this bowl that was pretty spot on to the piece on Pinterest. So I just grabbed some moss, tossed it on in here. I didn't glue anything down, arranged the apples right on top of it so they didn't fall out. And I love how simple this is. But if you don't have one of these at home, Dollar Tree has these cool wood plaques. They also have bowls there, but I just tossed it upside down, threw some of that moss right on top. You could absolutely stain yours if you want to. Place them on here again without gluing anything down. This way you can remake it using whatever faux food you would like. And I love how this one turned out as well. I've been a fan of these tabletop hoop pieces for some time. They got the boho vibe going on, and Dollar Tree always has this 2-pack. Forget the fact that like one is missing. Okay. They have a 2-pack of these, usually at the store. We're going to use the large one in the pack for this project. Grab a base. Dollar Tree has a bunch of different options for you to choose from, and the wood pieces are actually pretty nice. Then it's time to bring on in your stapler. For a little bit of added stability, I decided to pop some wood glue in there and then attach both pieces. I went with a round base. I popped 3 staples in this joint and allowed it to dry before grabbing our floral bits. Now I had some pieces from Hobby Lobby that I recently picked up for $1.49 and 99 cents, along with some Dollar Tree pieces. And I just kind of attached them with some hot glue, holding them into place. And then once that dried, I smushed some tacky glue in there for a long lasting hold. You could absolutely paint your hoop and base whatever color you would like, but I think for the fall season, this neutral was perfect. I am a sucker for a good rustic piece, and I love me some plate decor. So this little rustic rooster DIY, here we come. But only we're going to be using this adorable baby Highland cow that's in a bucket with some pumpkins. How cute is this napkin? And guess what? You get 4 designs on this. We're going to take a paintbrush with a little bit of water, and we're going to use that to trim along the design as exact as we possibly can to be able to put on our plate. Plus, it's a good way to kind of tear and fray the edges and get a pretty perfect and detailed trim. When I was happy with that, I then removed the sneaky layers that are on the back. So we just had the top decorative layer so we can decoupage onto our plate. This is a Dollar Tree charger, and I'm just putting a nice coat of white for a base behind the napkin. For the medium, I'm going to use some of DIY's liquid patina. I get this from Sammy over at Unicorn Dust Designs. For anyone that's interested, I keep a link down in the description box. Before I start to decoupage this, I'm going to trim it up just a little bit more to match the shape of the inside of this plate. And this is a complete preference. You can leave as much of the napkin on there as you would like. When you're completely happy with how you need to trim down your piece, it's a good idea to kind of size up exactly where you want it. Use one of your hands to hold it in place, fold it over, put a little bit of your medium there, and then press it down exactly where you want it. So this way you don't have it moving and possibly putting it on crooked. Another little tip, whenever you're decoupaging, grab yourself a kitchen sponge. I picked these up in a pack from Walmart. I love using them to be able to just press directly down on top of the napkin. Kind of soaks up any of that extra medium through the pores of the napkin, helping to reduce any wrinkles. Now that your piece is in place, you just continue to do the same thing until the entire napkin is attached. I like to say less is more, especially with the medium. It helps to reduce wrinkles, but you do you and what works best for you. This is just what works best for me. I let this dry for a few hours, and now we're going to kind of turn this what looks like wood into a deeper wood by adding some antique Waverly wax. Just taking a little bit on my finger and kind of smearing it around the napkin. This is going to cover up that white that we painted on there, so it's not so, creating that separation, and it's going to blend the napkin into the plates. It's also going to give us that wood plate appearance. Now, I did spend about 30 minutes using a baby wipe, a paper towel, and my finger blending everything together and going over the plate to get that deep wood look that our piece from Pinterest had. When I was happy enough with the wood color we had, I took a little bit of cream paint and I went over the napkin around the edges and onto the dark antique wax we had around the napkin, just to kind of blend everything in a little bit more, showing through with some of those wood grains in this plate. To create a little pocket on the front, I just cut up some burlap and frayed it around the edges, and I used some tacky glue and hot glue to attach it down. At the top of the plate, I made a little messy bow with some scrap pieces of fabric that were sent to me some time ago by a subscriber, and I just kind of layered them on top of one another and absolutely adore how this beautiful rustic plate turned out. I absolutely adored all the denim pocket decor pieces I seen on Pinterest, but my favorite one was this decoupaged one. So I wanted to start with a Dollar Tree base, and these are pretty popular right now at Dollar Tree. So to cover up the back, I just grabbed some of this vinyl that I had in my stash. And you would not think that it's as difficult as it is to line up some vinyl, but people, I'm here to tell you that it is, because not only is it constantly sticking when I'm trying to lay it down, but then I had it crooked. It took me, I was like, I should have just left the whole back. I should have just left it as it was. And I mean, just when I thought that I had it on there straight, as I was laying it down, it was still crooked. For the love of vinyl, what is wrong with you? Just straighten. Whew. And I really just want to say, like, this is not necessary. If you're going to resell your piece, absolutely cover the back. I don't know what I was trying to prove here other than making me want to quit. And then the staples on the front, trying to get them out because I wanted to use the back, that was not any easier. Eventually, I got it all taken care of, and then we were able to move on to actually creating the project. I'm going to start off with some white paint and just put a base coat down. While that's drying, you got to find some jeans, people. We need our denim pockets. Don't you worry about whose jeans these are. And no, they are not mine. We're going to need to poke a little hole in the... we're going to need to cut a hole... I don't think anyway. See, that's going to be good. Cut the pocket out. Okay. Cut the pocket. Look at that. You can leave as much of the denim around the pocket as you want. I decided to trim mine down pretty precisely. And then I took my fingernail and kind of went over the edges to fray it just a little bit. For our decoupage portion, we're going to be using this beautiful napkin right here. Now, I've decoupaged a lot of things and I've decoupaged fabrics before. The only thing I personally will use on fabric is a napkin. It just works best for me. I've tried tissue paper, I've tried gift wrap paper. This is just my, oh, and fabric on fabric, obviously. But for this particular project, we're going to use this napkin, and you're going to want to remove any of the sneaky layers. Just have that top decorative layer. And please keep in mind, you're going to want to make sure that your medium is meant for fabric. Now I want to take and put a little bit of a base on here. This way the design on the napkin pops and we don't have that blue hue coming through completely through the napkin from the denim on the jeans. For our medium, I'm going to be just using some good old Mod Podge here. This is the fabric formula. And if you've never used it, people, it's super thick. And you're going to want to put this on super thick. I recommend just doing small sections, keep it simple, don't get wild and do the whole thing. Press the piece down exactly where you want. And I like to take a little sponge. This is a dry sponge. I get these in packs from Walmart, and then I will cut them down to size and press them into place. This will absorb up excess Mod Podge, and it also just kind of presses them down exactly how I want them so I can continue to decoupage with minimal wrinkles. While that's off drying, I grabbed one of Dollar Tree's trays to draw us some straight lines with some antique Waverly wax and a paintbrush to create faux wood slats on our background. I also took a little bit of antique Waverly wax on a baby wipe and helped to blend things together to give us that faux wood slat appearance. When I was happy with that, I grabbed some tacky glue and some hot glue to apply our little pocket onto our piece. When everything was dry, I took a little bit of that antique Waverly wax on a dry brush and just kind of blended things in a little bit more all around the edges. Then I started adding some accents. Now I know those of you that struggle to find the Dollar Tree ribbon are gonna be a little upset with me for this one, and I'm sorry, but you'll see in the end reveal that it was absolutely necessary for us to bring on in the stapler so we could attach this ribbon onto the top for a beautiful hanger and a little accent in the center of our bow. Put whatever you would like in your pocket and then hang it wherever you would like. I absolutely love how this beautiful little rustic piece turned out, and it looks just perfect on the front door. I personally forget that apples are a great way to decorate for the fall. So as I was looking on Pinterest, I seen some really beautiful pieces, but nothing that I was actually looking for. So I popped into Dollar Tree and seen these beautiful new galvanized buckets that have fresh apples on them, and then headed over to their little faux food section and grabbed a couple apples. I took my twine out and I glued a little bit onto the bottom of this basket. Now I do want to let you know that it is okay to start with the hot glue to get that twine on there, but definitely follow up with some tacky glue, like smush it in there if you want this to really hold, because that glue will pop right off with the twine. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, that has happened to me in the past. Now people, don't have me perpetrating to you. If you have a large piece of styrofoam, please use that, okay? You're gonna see me using this little baby joint and gluing it down because that's what I had. You feel what I'm saying? But use the big piece, okay? Splurge. That's what I had. And then I'm using some of Dollar Tree's picks. I love the picks that have like the different florals and they got the pumpkin and they just look really high. Ooh, and they had this stuff. Have you came across this stuff? Didn't have a name. It just said $1.25 and it smells good. Okay. I cut that up. I put some in there, some little leaves. I covered up our styrofoam with some burlap. Pop those apples in here, and oh, I am so happy with this piece and how it turned out. What do you think? If you enjoyed these Dollar Tree fall dupes and are looking for more inspiration, check out this video right here. And as always, people, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. And until next time.